Center all night, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Alex Tobario here with you. It's the weekend of all weekends in the sports calendar. Super Bowl 57 on the horizon. The Chiefs battling the Eagles for NFL supremacy. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. For a job you love, visit progressive.com/careers.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
We are a day removed from the NBA trade deadline, and one of those deals may be in jeopardy. ESPN's Kendra Andrews reporting that there are significant concerns to Gary Payton II's physical. He was headed to the Golden State Warriors, and a deal that sent Payton to Golden State in that 4-team trade that also included the Hawks, Pistons, and Trailblazers. Warriors have until Saturday to go through with the deal or rescind the trade. The concerns have to do with lingering issues with Payton's offseason abdominal surgery. The deal sent James Wiseman from the Warriors to the Pistons. Sadiq Bey and Kevin Knox headed to the Hawks and Blazers, respectively. ESPN.com's Myron Metcalf reporting some surprising news in college basketball. New Mexico State University has suspended its men's basketball season indefinitely and canceled Saturday's game against California Baptist following, quote, new allegations within the program. The coaching staff has been placed on paid administrative leave, according to a statement from the school. This is the latest bit of controversy for the Aggies program. In November, forward Mike Peake shot and killed a New Mexico student in self-defense in Albuquerque after being lured to the campus. According to the school statement, the decision to suspend the season is separate from that case. The Aggies, a perennial power in the Western Athletic Conference, just 9-15 in Greg Heyer's first season as head coach. And finally, Tom Brady called it a career. He's headed to the TV booth in 2024, and the countdown to Canton for Brady has officially begun. He's filed paperwork with the NFL and the Players Association confirming his retirement on February 1st, perhaps extinguishing any remaining flames of an NFL return for the 7-time Super Bowl winner. Let's switch gears to the NBA. Again, Knicks in Philly on Friday, taking on the Sixers, who have lost back-to-back games, including one in the Garden to the Knicks. The Sixers did not break 100 points in either game. That hasn't happened in 3 straight games since Doc Rivers became the head coach. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson went off early, 21st quarter points, just the third Knicks player in the last 25 seasons to do that. The Knicks led by 6 at the break, but the Sixers would rally, trailed by only 1 entering the 4th. Sixers getting another big night from Joel Embiid, and the Sixers up 3. He went to work.
Embiid against Jericho Sims, 7 to shoot. From the foul line, he's fouled and he scored. Sims reaches, Embiid leans in, gets the hit on the forearm, and makes the field goal after the whistle. Embiid makes it a 5-point game, 113-108.
97.5, the Fanatic with the call. The free throw gave Embiid 35 of the game, put the Sixers up by 6, and then Tyrese Maxey put the game on ice.
114-108, Harden to Embiid. This is a 2-man game. Out top to Maxey. Maxey for 3. It's up and good. Maxey with another tray. 5 in the game. 27 points. Sixers by 9. 105 to go.
Sixers win at 119-108. Double-double for Embiid. 35 points, 11 rebounds. 15th straight game with at least 25 for Joel Embiid. James Harden, 20 points and 12 assists in his 16th 20-10 performance this season. Tyrese Maxey, 27 off the bench for Philly. Doc Rivers spoke about his performance after the game.
He was great. I mean, he not only just offense, I thought he got into Brunson and defended for us as well. So loved how he played, didn't force it, let him come to him. I loved his first basket of the game. I always think when he starts out with his fingernails on the backboard, it leads to the rest of the stuff. And I thought he had that in his head early, to attack first and then let the shots come. And I thought he did that.
Sixers head coach Doc Rivers, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle each had 30 in the losing effort for the Knicks. New York with only 14 points scored in that 4th quarter. Hornets, 1 game off the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings, taking on the leaders in the East, the Boston Celtics, on Friday in Boston. Celtics looking for win number 40 on the season. Final meeting of the season between the two squads. In the last meeting, it was the highest scoring output for Boston with 140 points. Derek White aided the scoring outputs for the Celtics early, and he was raining from the outside.
There he is. Heat check. 6 for 6. Yes! He's higher than fish grease. 6 threes in the first half. Derek White tying a season high for threes already.
ESPN on the call. White with 26 first half points, though wasn't the only Celtic dialing from long distance.
Brogdon cross court, Grant Williams. And that is a franchise record for three-pointers made in the first half. At 15.
That is right. Grant Williams made it. That three made it a franchise record for 15 3-pointers for the Celtics. But Jason Tatum wanted to make that milestone have a little bit more meaning.
Quick three, Tatum. Got it. And there is history. Jason Tatum called his own number. He drills the three right before halftime, and he becomes the first player in NBA history to make 1,000 of them before his 25th birthday.
It was the 16th three of the first half for the Boston Celtics, and you heard it there, the first NBA player to make 1,000 threes before the age of 25. He finished with 41 points on the night. It's the 31st 30-point game this season for Tatum. The Celtics made 25 threes on Friday. They're only the fourth team in NBA history to have at least 3 games on a season with 25 or more threes. 8 of those threes belonged to White. He had 8 and finished with 33 points, and he was with Cassidy Hubbard. But Jason Tatum wanted to join in on the fun as well.
How big did that basket look to you in the second quarter?
The shot was feeling good. Felt like I was getting some good looks and just letting it fly. And I made some ones where the ball was just bouncing my way, and it felt good today.
Regular season career high.
My fault.
He thought you were going to get this interview because you have
The 40 ball, man. Double. You couldn't get 7 more rebounds. You just keep stealing them.
But let me ask you about Jason. I mean, this is his 7th 40-point game. Just like, what do you make just how easy the game is coming to him this season?
Yeah, he's locked in. He took his game to another level this season, and it's been fun to see, fun to play with. He just makes the right play every time down, and just keeps getting better and better, and it's fun. I like playing with him.
And you guys had a wire-to-wire win for your 40th win on the season, and Mike Muscala comes in, and he hits 4 threes as well. How would you describe just the cohesiveness of this group as you guys head into the All-Star break?
Yeah, everybody gets along. Everybody loves playing with each other, hanging out with each other. Obviously, bringing in Mike and adding that element to our team is huge. And we know what the bigger goal in mind is, but we're just trying to get better each and every time we're out here.
You heard there from Jason Tatum and Derek White. The Celtics pick up the victory again over the Charlotte Hornets. Rockets lost a heartbreaker on Wednesday at home against the Kings, making some costly mistakes in the final seconds. The Rockets were on the road in Miami. The game tied at 95 on the final possession. Miami with the basketball. Let's hear how it sounded first on Miami radio.
Gabe slaps it at the rim to Jimmy. Yeah, it's over. The game is still, what? Are you kidding me? There's still 0.3 remaining. No timeout. The inbound ball game. Heat win 97-95. This one belongs to the Heat. Namdi to Jimmy. Night.
So Jimmy Butler with the game-winning alley-oop. You heard it there on 560 WQAM. Now let's hear that same play from the Rockets' perspective.
Jabari at 6'11", towers over Vincent. Alley-oop, dunk. Oh my goodness. Alley-oop to Butler on the inbounds, and he jammed it down. And that's how the game's going to end.
KBME 790 AM in Houston, 97-96 the final score. Heat beat the Rockets, another heartbreaking loss for Houston. We switch to college basketball. One top 25 game on the slate. Butler taking on Xavier, the number 13th ranked team in the country. Xavier projected to be a 4 seed by ESPN's bracketologist Joe Lunardi. Butler just 4-10 in the Big East this season, taking care of the home floor at Hinkle throughout. They led Xavier by 14 points at the half. We'll move to late in the fourth. Game tied at 67. Jaden Taylor for the Bulldogs gets some help.
Butler, a chance to win the game. Hunter into the front court. Hunter all the way to the rim. No! And a foul! Hunter was fouled as he went to slam it in. With 2.5 left. Oh, what a swing of emotion. It looked as if the official came over and signified a foul, but count the basket.
Count the basket.
So Butler has a 69-67 advantage.
So there was no foul.
No foul, it was a goaltend.
It was just a goaltend.
Butler on top, 69-67 with 2.5 left against top 15 Xavier. Line puts it in, boom, catches, midcourt heave. No! Pickle! Magic! 69-67. Butler takes down 13th ranked Xavier in Indy.
Mark Minner from Learfield described it. Butler and their fans storm the court as they knock off 13th ranked Xavier 69-67 on their home floor at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And Butler pulling the upset. Again, 69-67 is 20 points for Taylor in the game. It's the second straight victory for the Bulldogs in a season that's been rough for them. Xavier in danger of falling a bit further down in the polls. This is SportsCenter All Night, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. Coming up, we've got our top sound of the day. Steve Lennox has that for us, plus some Super Bowl prop bet info for you. That's coming your way next. This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Coming up Monday, we'll recap everything from Super Bowl 57, the game, the commercials, and, of course, Rihanna's halftime show. Keyshawn, J. Willimax, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
More SportsCenter All Night. Next.
West Point Lincoln does not charge over MSRP like some dealers do, and we have plenty of vehicles to choose from. Everyone knows West Point Lincoln will do everything in our power to get you rolling in an hour. West Point Lincoln on the Katy Freeway at Kirkwood and westpointlincoln.com.
Guys, listen up. Do you sometimes feel like you're not at your best sexually? You owe it to yourself to restore your bedroom performance, and you can. The Phoenix is a revolutionary technology and the world's first at-home device helping men all across America hack their sexual health. Go to buythephoenix.com now and find your true sexual age by taking a free 2-minute urologist-designed quiz. See how your sexual health stacks up to other men your age. That's buythephoenix.com and click on Take the Quiz.
AT&T Fiber presents a straightforward moment.
Game on, baby. This looks great.
Yeah, streaming is amazing with AT&T Fiber.
Must be nice being a gagillionaire.
Yup, and the straightforward pricing has made me want to be straightforward with you. I'd much rather stream ice dancing.
Is that Alma Hansen and Bjorn Anders?
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase at 12 months. Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
All right, guys, got to tell you, my friends over at D&M Leasing want you to know that traditional financing companies are bringing back 84-month terms again. That is correct. And this can put you in a place where you owe way more money on your auto loan than your car is worth when it's time to trade in. I talk about that all the time. Nearly 20% of new autos are being financed for 84 months, according to a recent article in Automotive News. If you finance for 84 months, you better be willing to stay in your car for a very long time. Why extend your loan payments for 7 years when leasing can give you low payments and guarantees on much shorter terms? When you lease with D&M Leasing, you get lower payments, shorter terms, guarantees, and world-class customer service. It makes no sense to finance a vehicle longer, make a higher payment, take on the risk of the car's future value, and most likely end up with negative equity when you trade. Do what makes sense. Lease with D&M Leasing. Save on your payments and eliminate the risk that you will be upside down when you trade. Call any area code 35LEASE or visit dmautoleasing.com. D&M, it's just that simple.
I'm Peter Bukowski, host of Locked On Sports Today, bringing you the latest news from around the sports world every morning. From the games that matter most to the biggest stories in sports. Start your morning going beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. At least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today. Locked On Sports Today covers the biggest stories from around the sports world without taking up all your free time. Find Locked On Sports Today free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts.
That you ever did see. Because the beetle killed the tree, and the tree hit the ground, and the ALB still goes all around, and the ALB goes around.
Spot the signs and stop the Asian longhorn beetle. Learn all the signs at AsianLonghornbeetle.com. Considering an online pharmacy? Explore BeSafeRx to find useful information and resources to help you purchase medicines safely online. A safe online pharmacy requires a doctor's prescription, has an address in the United States, has a licensed pharmacist, and is licensed by a state pharmacy board. It's best to stay away from online pharmacies that don't meet these criteria. Discover more helpful tips and resources at BeSafeRx. Go to fda.gov/BeSafeRx.
The Y is where Leah first learned to dribble. Now it's also where she'll learn how to divide fractions. This school year, many Ys across America are transforming some of their spaces for virtual learning. Contact your local Y to learn more. Forever learning. The Y, for a better us.
Lineman, sports aficionado, badass, and friend. It's Gabe Kuhn, weekdays from 4 till 7 p.m. on 92.9 FM, ESPN.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. I'm Alex Sabario as we begin your big sports weekend with the big game coming up on Sunday. But before we talk more football, let's talk a little golf. Tiger Woods took to Twitter on Friday, said he's coming back, and he's doing it next week. Woods announced he would be playing at the Genesis Invitational at Riviera next week. It's his 15th career start at the event. So Tiger Woods making his return to the links coming up next week. And as we turn the page here, looking at some of the best events of the sports day on Friday night, let's go ahead and listen to some of our top sound. Here's Steve Lennox.
Number 4.
All right, Alex, here we go. NBA Friday night. Sixers home in Philadelphia against the Knicks. Tyrese Maxey hitting from downtown late in the fourth quarter. Tom McGinnis the call on 97.5, The Fanatic.
114-108. Harden to Embiid. This is a two-man game. Out top to Maxey. Maxey for three. It's up and good. Maxey with another trade. 5 in the game. 27 points. Sixers by 9. 1:05 to go.
Number 3.
Jazz on the road in Toronto. Colin Sexton coming up huge late in the fourth quarter for the Jazz. Here's the call, 97.5, The Zone.
Sexton driving, hanging, foul, finishes with an outstretched right hand, kiss off the window. He'll buy it, he'll get one free. Colin Sexton, how do you do? 13-1 run by the Jazz.
Number 2.
College basketball Friday night. Butler knocking off number 13 Xavier. Mark Minner the call from Learfield.
On top, 69-67 with 2.5 left against top 15 Xavier. That's right, puts it in. Boom, catches. Midcourt heave. No! Pickle. Magic. 69-67. Butler takes down 13th ranked Xavier in Indy.
Number 1.
And we wrap with the NBA. Heat hosting the Rockets in Miami Friday night. How about the finish for the Heat and Mr. Jimmy Butler? Jason Jackson, the call of this game-winning bucket on 560 WQAM Radio in Miami.
Gabe slaps it at the rim to Jimmy. Yeah, it's over. The game is still, what? Are you kidding me? There's still 0.3 remaining. No timeout. The inbound ball game. Heat win 97-95. This one belongs to the Heat. Namdi to Jimmy. Night.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Now, while the focus on the Super Bowl is this weekend, a former Super Bowl champion still dealing with legal issues. John Barr has an update on Brett Favre's legal issues.
Accusing them of making egregiously false and defamatory statements, attorneys for Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre took aim Thursday at some of his more vocal critics, filing lawsuits against Mississippi State Auditor Shad White and former NFL players and current sports commentators Shannon Sharpe and Pat McAfee.
And all of a sudden, I'm getting sued. I would like to let everybody know the quotes that were in that lawsuit were certainly accurate. But There's one word I believe that was said often on this particular program, if you were to watch it all, and that would be allegedly. In 2020, Mississippi state auditors discovered that at least $77 million in public money earmarked for the neediest families instead went to powerful people in the state. According to a civil lawsuit, Favre pushed state officials to provide $5 million for a new volleyball facility at his alma mater, the University of Southern Mississippi, and was paid $1.1 million in welfare funds for speeches he never made. Favre eventually paid back that $1.1 million, but the state auditor now demands he paid $228,000 in interest.
He's called me and my team liars, despite the fact that there's clear evidence that he benefited from misspent funds. And honestly, I think Mr. Favre would be better off repaying the full amount of money that he owes the state rather than paying New York litigators.
According to Favre's lawsuit against McAfee, McAfee called Favre a thief who was stealing from poor people in Mississippi. Shannon Sharp made similar comments on his show in September.
First of all, he has to prove that the statements are false.
Matthew Leash is an attorney specializing in First Amendment cases.
It's his burden to show that they're false. And also, equally importantly, he has to show that they were spoken with what's called actual malice. And that's a really tough standard.
Favre has never been criminally charged, but he remains one of dozens of defendants in an ongoing civil lawsuit in Mississippi. Favre and his attorneys have said he never knew the money he was asking for was intended to help needy families. For ESPN, I'm John Barr.
So while Brett Favre deals with his legal issues, the Super Bowl is upon us, and Super Bowl prop bet's a big thing for gamblers. But how would the pros stack up and make their decisions on the prop bets? Let's ask them.
It is playoff preview with the pros on Canty and Carlin, ESPN Radio, and on the ESPN app. It is Keyshawn Johnson. It is Chris Canty. It is Harry Douglas with Chris Carlin. We roll into the opportunity to make some people money as we turn around with the prop bets and line them up to give props.
We're not afraid to tell you when we got something right.
Wow, you were right.
Or wrong. That was terrible. It's time to give props.
We're not afraid to do it. We just generally don't tell you when we're wrong. That's all. Let's get to the opportunity to tell everybody why we're right. Giving props brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. We go around. We will start with Keyshawn Johnson. Key, Jalen Hurts rushing yards over 50.5. What do you say? Over or under 50.5 yards?
I'm going to say over. I'm going to say over because that's part of his staple, his game. He's got to do the RPO game to slow the defensive lineman and the second wave of defender, the linebackers down. You want to freeze them at the point of attack. When you got guys coming off the edge, they think you're going to give it away. You keep it out the back gate. He may get that on one chunk run in this game.
Yeah, I'm with Key on that one. I'm going to go over for Jalen Hurts on rushing yards, and I don't think it's going to come on the QB zone read plays. I think it's going to come with Jalen Hurts pulling the ball down and scrambling. I know Spags, he's going to put a lot of defenders in the box, a lot of single high coverages. That means the potential for guys to be running with their back turned when Jalen Hurts drops back to pass. I could see him escaping away from pressure, taking off and deciding to run because, like we said, it's the last game of the season. He's going to put it on the line.
I'm going to go under because I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to stack the box and they're going to force Jalen Hurts to be a passer. But also, guys, when he tries to scramble, there might be a spot right there waiting on him. So I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go under as well because I think the big focus is going to be stopping that run game no matter how that looks. And Canty has talked about this a lot, forcing the Eagles to throw the ball, forcing Jalen Hurts to beat you through the air. That's what I expect Steve Spagnuolo to do. I am going to go under.
I just can't believe I'm hearing this. Forcing Jalen Hurts to beat you in the air, as if he hadn't beaten people.
No. But Key, let me tell you why it's important.
He couldn't, Key. I say he will.
I'm going to tell you why it's important. Because I think stopping the run is the most important thing for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, being able to contain the run. If they can't do that, now you're faced with the Eagles winning the time of possession, less trips that Patrick Mahomes get to be out on that football field. I just think they're better off stopping the run and forcing Hurts to pass it.
That's our playoff preview with the pros with Chris Carlin, Keyshawn Johnson, Chris Canty, and Harry Douglas as we get set for Super Bowl 57 coming up this weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app. We've got a lot more to get to here on the show, including a busy night in the National Basketball Association, including in Los Angeles, the Milwaukee Bucks, winners of 9 in a row, going for their 10th straight victory in Los Angeles as they took on the Clippers. Plus, we'll hear from our experts on what they feel about the quarterbacks battling in Super Bowl 57. That's coming your way next. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app.
Coming up next, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
I said
coming up Monday, now that the NBA is done wheeling and dealing, I'll tell you which two teams are head and shoulders above the rest. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you could pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-685-4718 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-685-4718. That's 800-685-4718. What do you have to lose? Call 800-685-4718. Again, 800-685-4718.
West Point Lincoln does not charge over MSRP like some dealers do, and we have plenty of vehicles to choose from. Everyone knows West Point Lincoln will do everything in our power to get you rolling in an hour. West Point Lincoln on the Katy Freeway at Kirkwood and westpointlincoln.com.
Guys, listen up. Do you sometimes feel like you're not at your best sexually? You owe it to yourself to restore your bedroom performance, and you can. The Phoenix is a revolutionary technology and the world's first at-home device helping men all across America hack their sexual health. Go to buythephoenix.com now and find your true sexual age by taking a free 2-minute urologist-designed quiz. See how your sexual health stacks up to other men your age. That's buythephoenix.com and click on Take the Quiz.
AT&T Fiber presents a straightforward moment.
Game on, baby. This looks great.
Yeah, streaming is amazing with AT&T Fiber.
Must be nice being a gagillionaire.
Yup, and the straightforward pricing has made me want to be straightforward with you. I'd much rather stream ice dancing.
Is that Alma Hansen and Bjorn Anders?
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase at 12 months. Live like a gagillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
All right, guys, got to tell you, my friends over at D&M Leasing want you to know that traditional financing companies are bringing back 84-month terms again. That is correct. And this can put you in a place where you owe way more money on your auto loan than your car is worth when it's time to trade in. I talk about that all the time. Nearly 20% of new autos are being financed for 84 months, according to a recent article in Automotive News. If you finance for 84 months, you better be willing to stay in your car for a very long time. Why extend your loan payments for 7 years when leasing can give you low payments and guarantees on much shorter terms? When you lease with D&M Leasing, you get lower payments, shorter terms, guarantees, and world-class customer service. It makes no sense to finance a vehicle longer, make a higher payment, take on the risk of the car's future value, and most likely end up with negative equity when you trade. Do what makes sense. Lease with D&M Leasing. Save on your payments and eliminate the risk that you will be upside down when you trade. Call any area code 35LEASE or visit dmautoleasing.com. D&M, it's just that simple.
Right now on the Odyssey app, download No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith on some of his latest podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I sat down with Draymond Green and we got into everything in regards to Jordan Poole and what happened between those two. I also had a hilarious conversation with Bill Maher on the state of politics in today's day and age, and Elon Musk, of all people, of course. Plus, you know, I had to talk about my feelings on the whole Rihanna, Beyonce brouhaha.
No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith. Get it today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let
WMFS Memphis, celebrating a legacy of sports as the flagship home of the Memphis Grizzlies and Tigers talk. Always live on the Odyssey app and on smart speakers. Say play 92.9 ESPN.
On Sports Center all night. The Eagles and Chiefs get prepared for Super Bowl 57.
This game is more about the legacy of Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, a guy who's a trailblazer, one of the smartest guys.
The Bucs and Clippers headline tonight in the association.
Giannis away with a rebound for Milwaukee. Now he's going downhill, head full of steam, right at Zubats, and he plunges it through with a two-hand jam and a crowd.
Plus all the action in the NBA.
He checked 6 for 6. Yes! He's higher than Fistries. 6 threes in the first half. Derek White tying a season high.
And it's Patrick Mahomes to Michael Jordan of football.
When you start talking about Jordan's perfection throughout his career, on and off the court, that you can't obtain that.
This is Sports Center all night.
Magic! Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. I'm Alex Obario here with you. ESPN Radio presented by Progressive Insurance. And the weekend we all wait for, all fall and all winter, is finally here. We are on the eve of Super Bowl 57 in Arizona. The Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to get it on. Coming up on Sunday, looking for a Super Bowl title. But tonight, we'll start with a busy post-trade deadline night in the NBA. Some teams a bit short-handed with deals still in the process of being completed. And we start in Los Angeles tonight. The Milwaukee Bucks, they got better at the deadline. They added Jay Crowder. They're also on a 9-game winning streak. So did they really need to get much better? Tied for the longest in the NBA this season, that 9-game win streak. No Kawhi Leonard in the lineup tonight for the Clippers due to load management. Clippers just 10-16 this season without Kawhi. Giannis would score the Bucks' first 8 points of the game, but the Clippers were in control early. They led it 27-22 at the end of one. Pick up the action in the second quarter. Bucks trailing by 3, and Giannis gets the Bucks closer.
Giannis away with a rebound for Milwaukee. He will trot the other direction. Now he's going downhill, head full of steam, right at Zubats, and he plunges it through with a two-hand jam and a crowd. Look out below. Giannis was taking no prisoners as he went right at the big man for the Clippers.
Big-time slam for the Great Creek. WTMJ with the call there. Giannis continued to make an impact in that fourth quarter.
Bucks will come away with the basketball. They lead 97-85. Giannis with an open lane takes it all the way to the rack with an easy two-hand jam. He's now 1 point away from what would go down as his 29th 30-point game of the season. Giannis, step-back jumper from the free throw line, and it is pure. He's got 31. Giannis onto the Kumpo, and the Bucks rolling now. Over 100 points. They crossed the century mark. With still 6:42 to play in the fourth.
Giannis with 35 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. Bucks win at 119-106. That's 10 wins in a row now for Milwaukee. Bucks is now a game and a half back of Boston for first in the Eastern Conference. It's the longest current win streak in the NBA. We'll continue to the Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves also active at the deadline. They added Mike Conley in the 3-team deal that sent Russell Westbrook out of Los Angeles and to Utah, and acquiring now former Wolf D'Angelo Russell. The Wolves are 14-7 since the calendar turned to 2023 and now sit 2 back in the loss column for the 4th seed in the West. While the Wolves are climbing, it's been a rough stretch for the Memphis Grizzlies. They are just 2-8 in their last 10, tied for the Pacers for the second worst record in the league during that stretch. We'll pick up the action here in the third quarter. Grizz in control, MVP candidate Ja Morant, a big reason why.
Edwards from the top, shoulders in at Clark, crosses over down the left side of the lane. Bank shot attempt from the left hand, no good. Edwards wanted a foul. Rebounded by the Grizz. Here comes Morant. Spins in on McLaughlin. Hangs, scoops, scores with the left hand. Oh, Ja Morant with a gorgeous move at the rim right there.
I made it 94-79, 92.9. ESPN Memphis with the call. Move to the fourth quarter now. Grizzlies blowing out the Wolves. Morant padded his total.
Morant will run it from the top. 6:15 remaining here in the ballgame. Morant gets by Rivers into the lane. Little running right-hand floater is good. He got Austin Rivers on his outside hip, and Ja Morant has 30, 116.95.
He would add 2 more. Morant finished with a rebound and an assist shy of a triple-double, goes for 32 in the game. Grizzlies win their second straight, 128-107, the final score over the Wolves. Grizzlies are now 3.5 back of the Nuggets in the Western Conference. We'll continue in the Western Conference. The team that got the trade deadline week started was the Dallas Mavericks, bringing in Kyrie Irving from the Brooklyn Nets. Irving had 24 points in his Mavericks debut on Wednesday, and now they really need him as Luka Doncic's missing yet another game on Friday due to a right heel injury. So the jury is still out on how they will play together. Doncic spoke about his injury on Friday.
Hopefully tomorrow I can be back. Still painful. Yesterday it's some pickup, but it's way better every day. So hopefully tomorrow.
Still painful. Like what does that feel like? Is it every time you step, or is it just when you have higher impact situations?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, but especially in the morning, when you wake up before getting warm up and everything, walking in flip flops, it's obviously painful, but it's getting better.
So he says it's getting better, potentially back soon. The Mavs are once again without him as they squared off against the Sacramento Kings, the team that's right in front of them, and as the 3rd seed in the Western Conference standing. So without Luka, the Mavs needed another big game from Kyrie Irving.
Here is Irving to his left. Screen by Powell that way to shoot a three-pointer and knock it down over Herter. 17 for Irving, and the Mavericks up by 21.
97.1, the Eagle with the call. A big lead for the Dallas Mavericks at that point. They never trailed as they beat the Kings 122-114, 25 points and 10 assists for Kyrie Irving tonight. We'll shift gears to a matchup between a Western Conference foe and an Eastern Conference foe. Cavs in New Orleans taking on the Pelicans. No wins for the Cavaliers in the Big Easy in their last 11 tries, but still no Zion Williamson for the New Orleans Pelicans as they took on the 4th seeded in the East Cavaliers.
Cavs lead is 14. Garland left of the lane, hits the brakes, left side Mitchell. 3 ball is up and down. Donovan Mitchell buries the 3.
In his rhythm.
When the Cavs needed a bucket, Spida comes through with a huge hoop, and the lead's back to 17 at 83-66. Here's Mitchell, right of the circle. Jumper. Bang!
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell. A 30-point ball game. The 19th time that Donovan has hit the 30-point or more mark.
So a big night for Donovan Mitchell. 30 points, 5 rebounds. He also had another 28 points and 13 rebounds for Evan Mobley. Cavs win it 118-107. It's their first win in New Orleans for the Cavaliers in their last 12 tries. So big win for the Cavs. Again, they're the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference as we speak.
To be on the world stage, have 2 black quarterbacks start in the Super Bowl, I think it's special.
Yeah, I think it's history. I think it's something that's worthy of being noted, and it is history.
What those 2 guys did this whole season and how they played, I think it's unbelievable.
I'm just glad that we can kind of set the stage for kids that are coming up now.
The rise of the black quarterback, the prominence of black quarterbacks is what will in part define this era of football that we're in right now.
Super Bowl 57 from Arizona kicks off 6:30 Eastern on Sunday. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was named the NFL's most valuable player on Thursday night. His counterpart on the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts, second in the MVP voting, making Sunday the 5th time since the NFL-AFL merger that the MVP and MVP runner-up will square off in the title game. Problem for Mahomes historically, though. The runner-up has won every time the runner-up and the MVP have matched up in the Super Bowl. The last time it happened was when Tom Brady and the New England Patriots bested Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons back in the 2016 season. Max Kellerman on This Just In on Friday said that at a second Super Bowl win for Patrick Mahomes, and he just may start being compared to the GOAT in another sport.
Patrick Mahomes, these Super Bowls, he may be the greatest ever and never get back. If he wins his second, because the standard has changed since Tom Brady, it's not the Dan Marino days, just win 1 and you're okay. Brady got 7. Hey, Rodgers, why do you only have 1 Super Bowl, right? If he wins his second in his 5th year as a starter, after the 2 MVPs and the 3 appearances and a 1 pre-snap penalty away from 4 appearances, then he's Tom Brady in terms of team success, rolled up with Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning in terms of the regular season numbers, and the eyeball test. And then we are talking about legitimately asking, is he the Michael Jordan of football?
And Keyshawn Johnson said, whoa, not so fast, my friend. He disagrees. He said this on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
When you start talking about larger than life, like Jay say, when you start mentioning Jordan, if you said that he could be the Michael Jordan of his era at the quarterback position, I'd say, yeah, that could be a possibility. But when you start talking about Jordan's perfection throughout his career, on and off the court, that you can't obtain that.
Mahomes, in theory, still has several years and perhaps additional championship windows for the remainder of his NFL career. But Ryan Clark said this about Mahomes. He said he needs to win to help his legacy. He said this on Get Up.
When we look at quarterbacks and when you start to talk about the greatest of all times, it's about finishing the deal. Joe Montana is in that conversation because the San Francisco 49ers were able to win Super Bowls. Tom Brady is at the top of the GOAT conversation because of the 7 Super Bowls he was able to win. Now, we've sped up Patrick Mahomes' ascension into that conversation because of his skill, because of his talent, because of his early success. But if he doesn't win this game, we will not talk about the historic proportion of the ankle game, right? Or the high ankle sprain game. It won't be part of the flu game conversation if he doesn't win it. And that's what Patrick Mahomes is focused on.
Meanwhile, Dan Orlovsky, also on Get Up, offered a different take.
If Patrick retired today, he's likely in the Hall of Fame. What he's accomplished, he's gone to 5 straight conference championship games. He's got 2 MVPs. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He's gone to the Super Bowl 3 out of the last 4 years. He's broken he's doing things historically we have never done. I don't want us to fall into this 3-4 decade conversation of, well, the quarterback always has been and always will be tied to the ultimate end goal. I don't like when we do that. I don't think it's fair to a position that is the most dependent position in all professional sports. Patrick Mahomes is trying to go get a Super Bowl, but for me, it has nothing to do with the legacy, so to speak. That is right now very much so cemented as it comes to an individual player.
So let's look at the flip side of the quarterbacking coin for Sunday. And Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, he's in the first chapter of his quarterbacking legacy, entering his first Super Bowl and hoping the trend of MVP runner-ups winning the big game over the league MVP continues on Sunday. Mina Kimes said that Jalen Hurts' ability to throw the ball will be huge coming up in this game against Kansas City.
I want to see how Jalen Hurts looks throwing the ball early. Part of the reason why this Eagles offense was so difficult to stop during the regular season was that if you dropped a man into the box or played cover one, Jalen Hurts was able to punish you by throwing those beautiful go balls down the sideline. They're so multiple on offense. However, since coming back from injury, he has struggled a bit throwing the ball downfield. And that's something I want to see. You know, is it tied to the injury? If he's a little further out, does he look more comfortable? Because I do believe there will be opportunities with these these Eagles wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, against a relatively inexperienced Chiefs secondary.
Now, no matter what, Jalen Hurts is a big opportunity in front of him on Sunday, facing off against a 2-time MVP in Patrick Mahomes. And Freddie Coleman said tonight on Freddie and Fitzsimmons, said he better have a big Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes certainly will.
I know how good the Eagles defense has been rushing the passer. I think the Chiefs will protect them just enough, run the ball just enough to keep them honest as far as that goes. That offensive line is very underrated in Kansas City, which means that I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to put up big numbers. And then it's on Jalen Hurts, not just throwing the ball, but running the football. You're right. He's a two-fisted dude. And A.J. Brown, believe me, A.J. Brown was not happy about not getting the ball in the 2 games they won where they beat the blood out of the Giants and they beat the blood out of San Francisco 49ers. You know he's saying, hey, dude, give me the ball. I can do some things. I'm a bad boy out there. Give me the ball. Jalen Hurts is going to have to put up those kind of numbers against a Chiefs defense who have 2 weeks to prepare for him. And they're going to do everything they can to say, we're going to make you throw the football. You're not going to be able to run it. We don't care if it's 8-man fronts. Trust our guys one-on-one coverage on the outside. We believe that you are not going to wear us down. And if that's going to be the case, that's when Jalen Hurts has got to get in touch with his inner Patrick Mahomes to try to level a guy that I think is going to have some success against the Philadelphia Eagles and that outstanding defense.
It's the first time ever we've had 2 black quarterbacks start for their respective teams in the Super Bowl. And there's a lot at stake for both quarterbacks. Here's Jason Fitz.
Jalen Hurts is going to get himself paid, that Jalen Hurts is playing remarkably, and that Jalen Hurts is proving to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. 2 guys that were number 1 and number 2 in the MVP voting that were going to have to come up big in the Super Bowl because we've never seen Jalen Hurts at this level. He's never played in a Super Bowl, and we've seen Mahomes twice, 2 times in the Super Bowl, not just for reasons on his shoulders, but as I keep saying, he's had one great quarter out of 8. So it feels like both of them have questions to answer in this game.
Coming up, more NFL news to pass along. We'll hear from new Broncos head coach Sean Payton. Plus, how do the players get ready for the big game? Our pros will tell you. That's coming up next. SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, and the ESPN app.
Coming up Monday, I'll give you my biggest takeaways from Super Bowl 57. Don't miss that at 7:15 a.m. Eastern on Monday morning. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Monday morning on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
This is SportsCenter All Night.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Nice run. It's great being back out on the mountain. You sort of disappeared for a while. Everything okay? Between you and me, it was lower testosterone. Lower T? Yeah. The doc told me once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to stay in shape. That's why I started taking Nugenix Total T. It's made a huge difference. Oh, I've seen that on TV. Is it for real? For sure. It's the #1 doctor-recommended testosterone booster. It boosts free and total testosterone levels to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. My wife, my boss, my kids. Everyone has noticed a change in me. Do they still give out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves? Yes, just send them a text.
Guys, text Hefty to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC and Walmart. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back in shape fast, absolutely free. Text HEFTY to 321-321. That's Hefty to 321-321.
West Point Lincoln does not charge over MSRP like some dealers do, and we have plenty of vehicles to choose from. Everyone knows West Point Lincoln will do everything in our power to get you rolling in an hour. West Point Lincoln on the Katy Freeway at Kirkwood and westpointlincoln.com.
Guys, listen up. Do you sometimes feel like you're not at your best sexually? You owe it to yourself to restore your bedroom performance, and you can. The Phoenix is a revolutionary technology and the world's first at-home device helping men all across America hack their sexual health. Go to buythephoenix.com now and find your true sexual age by taking a free 2-minute urologist-designed quiz. See how your sexual health stacks up to other men your age. That's buythephoenix.com and click on Take the Quiz.
AT&T Fiber presents a straightforward moment.
Game on, baby. This looks great.
Yeah, streaming is amazing with AT&T Fiber.
Must be nice being a gigillionaire.
Yup, and the straightforward pricing has made me want to be straightforward with you. I'd much rather stream ice dancing.
Is that Alma Hansen and Bjorn Anders?
Straightforward is better. No equipment fees, no data caps, no price increase at 12 months. Live like a gigillionaire with AT&T Fiber. Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
All right, guys, got to tell you, my friends over at D&M Leasing want you to know that traditional financing companies are bringing back 84-month terms again. That is correct. And this can put you in a place where you owe way more money on your auto loan than your car is worth when it's time to trade in. I talk about that all the time. Nearly 20% of new autos are being financed for 84 months, according to a recent article in Automotive News. If you finance for 84 months, you better be willing to stay in your car for a very long time. Why extend your loan payments for 7 years when leasing can give you low payments and guarantees on much shorter terms? When you lease with D&M Leasing, you get lower payments, shorter terms, guarantees, and world-class customer service. It makes no sense to finance a vehicle longer, make a higher payment, take on the risk of the car's future value, and most likely end up with negative equity when you trade. Do what makes sense. Lease with D&M Leasing. Save on your payments and eliminate the risk that you will be upside down when you trade. Call any area code 35LEASE or visit dmautoleasing.com. D&M, it's just that simple.
Right now on the Odyssey app, download No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith on some of his latest podcasts.
Oh, yeah, I sat down with Draymond Green and we got into everything in regards to Jordan Poole and what happened between those two. I also had a hilarious conversation with Bill Maher on the state of politics in today's day and age, and Elon Musk, of all people, of course. Plus, you know, I had to talk about my feelings on the whole Rihanna, Beyonce brouhaha.
No Mercy with Stephen A. Smith. Get it today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Somebody needs to block and tackle and host a radio show. From the University of Memphis to your speakers, it's Gabe Kuhn. Weekdays from 4 till 7 p.m. live on 92.9 FM ESPN.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio. Radio and the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80. I'm Alex Sabaria here with you this weekend. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. For a job you love, visit progressive.com/careers. We are on Super Bowl weekend with the NFL's biggest day of the year taking place on Sunday in Arizona. The host franchise, the Arizona Cardinals, well, they decided to pause their head coaching search. Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell said they will resume their work in hiring their next head coach on Monday. Cardinals appear to be down to two coaching candidates in Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo and Giants offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. While we are talking Cardinals, two former Arizona employees could be headed to the AFC South. The Houston Texans and their new head coach DeMeco Ryans is hiring Matt Burke to be their next defensive coordinator. Burke was the Cardinals defensive line coach in 2022. And as for former Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury, ESPN's Dan Graziano has learned that Kingsbury is in Houston and prepared to meet with the Texans to potentially take over as offensive coordinator. As for coaches who are now on the carousel, or I should say off the carousel, new Broncos head coach Sean Payton starting to settle into his new digs. He joined Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max on Friday and let it be known why he chose Denver.
There were 5 jobs this year, which is really less than the average. I mean, generally speaking, there's about 7 a year. But I would say there was one thing, and all along, just paying attention to this, it wasn't player-driven. It wasn't region-driven. It was ownership. The ownership group was fantastic. The general manager, I've gotten to know George Payton, and then it was an important football town. Like, that triangle, and starting with the right ownership group, because look, there are, and you know this, a number of these jobs where it's hard to win every Sunday. It's hard to win if everything is in line, but there are a ton of these jobs that it's impossible to win if the things aren't in line between ownership, front office, and head coach. So the triangle there is what I value most.
As we inch closer to Super Bowl 57 and in our playoff preview with the pros tonight, we asked the guys, how do the players get ready for the big game?
Well, let's get to it. We've got so much to get into this hour regarding Super Bowl 57, but I just want to start here. Let's set the stage for the players in this game. And Key, I want to start with you here. Getting ready for the game, everything that goes into it for a week and a half, everything the player has to worry about, getting to this point now today. Take me through, what it is in terms of your nerves, getting ready for the game and the hours leading up to it.
Well, Friday for me, I was an early dinner, and I kind of just hung out in the lobby till it was time for curfew. After we did all the work with the team on the film study, all that sort of stuff, it was time to hang out, kind of just in the lobby. I had some friends, because it's all the way on lockdown. You know how it is, Canty. The hotel is on lockdown. Family and friends may be able to enter. So I hung out in the lobby with them and just cracked some jokes or whatever until it was time to go to bed. And then once I go to bed, I was up watching the Australian Open pretty much every single night because that was what was on television. I got no sleep. And then that same sort of routine again on Saturday. And Saturday was even worse because the game was on Sunday. And I had already gotten all the tickets and everything out of the way and the hotels. And my family was in LA anyway. So a lot of them drove up, like my mom and all them. They just drove up the day of the game. And then my brothers and everybody came a little early because they wanted to hang out and go to the parties and things of that nature. But it was only really heavy, stressful for me the night of the game. The night of the game, I did not sleep. I hung out in the hallway talking to the security guards for several hours while I watched Serena play. Once she was done, I think I laid down for about an hour and I was ready to go.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest challenge is managing that range of emotions that you go through as a player in the 48 hours leading up to the big game. Like right now, players are enjoying the downtime, the Friday afternoon off, getting away from it with your prep and having a chance to get those last few moments with your friends and your family, because after tonight, you're going to be sequestered into the team hotel. It's going to be walkthroughs. It's going to be film study. It's just you and your guys getting ready for the big game, buttoning up last minute details. And Carlin, the biggest challenge for a player is managing those emotions, your mental energy leading into the game. Like you don't want to get mentally and emotionally spent to the point where you're burned out before the game even kicks off. So making sure that it's a slow, steady build so that you can be the best version of yourself once the game starts is one of those challenges. And when guys don't have that experience, they've got to lean on players that have been there and been in that situation that can help guide them through that, because you are talking about the biggest moment of your football career. So that's the part in managing that anxiety, managing those emotions, that mental energy aspect of it before you get to the game is going to be key to being at your best once the football is actually being played.
Still more to get to here on SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Coming up next, it's half-hour headlines. This is ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Greeny from the desert, and we are counting it down. Super Bowl 57, the Chiefs and the Eagles, and this will be the place to talk it all over on Monday morning. Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
It's game time, Memphis.
Yes, sir. Jake Elliott, number 4 for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And the kick is
Gabe, how we doing, buddy? Man, doing well. Little less moving parts this time.
It is. It's a little bit different this time around. I think the main thing is back in my rookie year, I kind of didn't know what I didn't know, so I was just kind of along for the ride and taking everything for what it was.
The Gabe Kuhn Show, weekdays from 4 till 7 p.m. on 92.9 FM ESPN.
West Point Lincoln does not charge over MSRP like some dealers do, and we have plenty of vehicles to choose from. Everyone knows West Point Lincoln will do everything in our power to get you rolling in an hour. West Point Lincoln on the Katy Freeway at Kirkwood and westpointlincoln.com.
Guys, listen up. Do you sometimes feel like you're not at your best sexually? You owe it to yourself to restore your bedroom performance, and you can. The Phoenix is a revolutionary technology and the world's first at-home device helping men all across America hack their sexual health. Go to buythephoenix.com now and find your true sexual age by taking a free 2-minute urologist-designed quiz. See how your sexual health stacks up to other men your age. That's buythephoenix.com and click on Take the Quiz.
I'm Peter Bukowski, host of Locked On Sports Today, bringing you the latest news from around the sports world every morning. From the games that matter most to the biggest stories in sports. Start your morning going beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights only Locked On can provide. At least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today. Locked On Sports Today covers the biggest stories from around the sports world without taking up all your free time. Find Locked On Sports Today free on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts.
All right, guys, got to tell you, my friends over at D&M Leasing want you to know that traditional financing companies are bringing back 84-month terms again. That is correct. And this can put you in a place where you owe way more money on your auto loan than your car is worth when it's time to trade in. I talk about that all the time. Nearly 20% of new autos are being financed for 84 months, according to a recent article in Automotive News. If you finance for 84 months, you better be willing to stay in your car for a very long time. Why extend your loan payments for 7 years when leasing can give you low payments and guarantees on much shorter terms? When you lease with D&M Leasing, you get lower payments, shorter terms, guarantees, and world-class customer service. It makes no sense to finance a vehicle longer, make a higher payment, take on the risk of the car's future value, and most likely end up with negative equity when you trade. Do what makes sense. Lease with D&M Leasing. Save on your payments and eliminate the risk that you will be upside down when you trade. Call any area code 35-LEASE or visit dmautoleasing.com. D&M, it's just that simple.
Seth Payne here for Allstate Windows and Siding. If you want to upgrade your leaky windows to energy-efficient windows, you go with Allstate. Energy bills are higher, interest rates on new homes are up. Why not invest in your existing home by upgrading your windows to Allstate Windows and Siding? Energy-efficient, made in Texas, built-in Texas windows designed for Texas tough weather. Plus, you could save up to 40% on your electric bill. Call Allstate Windows and Siding today. They are here to help Houstonians lower their energy bills. $150 off each window with a minimum of 10 windows, $2,500 off of full siding jobs, and 24 months of zero interest. So you're looking at potentially 40% off your electric bill and 24 months of zero interest, plus all those other upfront savings. They have home and virtual appointments available. Remember, for the best rate, call Allstate Windows and Siding at 832-204-1936. That's 832-204-1936 or online at allstatewindowsandsiding.com.
Like a boss, it's the Gabe Kuhn Show. Weekdays from 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. Live on Memphis' sports station, 92.9 FM ESPN.
This is Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Center all night, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Alex Sobario here with you. It's the weekend of all weekends in the sports calendar. Super Bowl 57 on the horizon. The Chiefs battling the Eagles for NFL supremacy. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. For a job you love, visit progressive.com/careers.
Half-hour headlines on Sports Center all night.
We are a day removed from the NBA trade deadline, and one of those deals may be in jeopardy. ESPN's Kendra Andrews reporting that there are significant concerns to Gary Payton II's physical. He was headed to the Golden State Warriors, and a deal that sent Payton to Golden State in that 4-team trade that also included the Hawks, Pistons, and Trailblazers. Warriors have until Saturday to go through with the deal or rescind the trade. The concerns have to do with lingering issues with Payton's offseason abdominal surgery. The deal sent James Wiseman from the Warriors to the Pistons. Sadiq Bey and Kevin Knox headed to the Hawks and Blazers, respectively. ESPN.com's Myron Metcalf reporting some surprising news in college basketball. New Mexico State University has suspended its men's basketball season indefinitely and canceled Saturday's game against California Baptist following, quote, new allegations within the program. The coaching staff has been placed on paid administrative leave, according to a statement from the school. This is the latest bit of controversy for the Aggies program. In November, forward Mike Peake shot and killed a New Mexico student in self-defense in Albuquerque after being lured to the campus. According to the school statement, the decision to suspend the season is separate from that case. The Aggies, a perennial power in the Western Athletic Conference, just 9-15 in Greg Heyer's first season as head coach. And finally, Tom Brady called it a career. He's headed to the TV booth in 2024, and the countdown to Canton for Brady has officially begun. He's filed paperwork with the NFL and the Players Association confirming his retirement on February 1st, perhaps extinguishing any remaining flames of an NFL return for the 7-time Super Bowl winner. Let's switch gears to the NBA. Again, Knicks in Philly on Friday, taking on the Sixers, who have lost back-to-back games, including one in the Garden to the Knicks. The Sixers did not break 100 points in either game. That hasn't happened in 3 straight games since Doc Rivers became the head coach. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson went off early, 21st quarter points, just the third Knicks player in the last 25 seasons to do that. The Knicks led by 6 at the break, but the Sixers would rally, trailed by only 1 entering the 4th. Sixers getting another big night from Joel Embiid, and the Sixers up 3. He went to work.
Embiid against Jericho Sims, 7 to shoot. From the foul line, he's fouled and he scored. Sims reaches, Embiid leans in, gets the hit on the forearm, and makes the field goal after the whistle. Embiid makes it a 5-point game, 113-108.
97.5, the Fanatic with the call. The free throw gave Embiid 35 of the game, put the Sixers up by 6, and then Tyrese Maxey put the game on ice.
114-108, Harden to Embiid. This is a 2-man game out top to Maxey. Maxey for 3, it's up and good. Maxey with another tray. 5 in the game, 27 points, Sixers by 9, 105 to go.